Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the premium and also public video discussion and also Fire Island and Beyond discussion, all lumped into one as we are getting ready for a major winter storm. We have blizzard warnings issued for the New Jersey coast, winter storm warnings for much of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Winter weather advisories just to the northwest of those areas. We have a lot going on, and I wanted to combine these videos. That way it kind of hits everyone's questions, and I do it in one shot, so that way we, basically get this all set up, because I think what we're dealing with here is a unique situation. And what I've been doing this morning, why I'm running a little bit behind, is that I've been comparing to previous storms that I've seen like this, like in 2018, for example, and 2005, a winter storm, 1888 is a good one to kind of go over and look at the dynamics. Not that I'm saying you'll get the same results, but you like to study. So let me walk through what we have here in the observations, why I increase the totals and everything, and we'll rock this out. So right now, we have an Arctic cold front approaching the region. And that's why we're seeing these scattered snow showers. This is not the storm yet, but it is a component to this whole storm. So we have temperatures throughout the region ranging from the upper teens to mid-20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. We have winds, for the most part, light and variable. We're seeing a little bit more of a southwesterly wind out ahead of the cold front off to our west. But you can see these little snow showers passing through, producing a dusting, maybe an inch in a few rogue locations. But the key aspect with this cold front is this strong cold air transport. Now, what cold air transport is the transport of cold air. Right now, we have a polar air mass in place. Not too bad, temperatures in the 30s, right? This is an Arctic air mass, and believe me, you're going to know when it blows through, because temperatures will be free falling this evening from the 30s to the 20s and into the teens, and by tomorrow morning with snow flying, temperatures will be in the single digits to mid-teens. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very key point here. Normally with our winter storms, we're in the upper 20s, lower 30s, a little bit of mix on the coast, so you get up to 34 degrees. And so what you're in is what's called a 10 to 1 snow ratio. 10 inches of snow to 1 inch of rain, right? This is a completely different beast. You're going to be dealing with temperatures in the teens to lower 20s. That pushes your snow ratio at the base, at the very base, at 12 to 1. Most locations around 12 to 1, 15 to 1, and you could easily push 20 to 1 or higher snow ratios. That's why the snowfall amounts are enhanced here in this situation. It also means you get very fluffy snow, the type of snow that if you stay ahead of it, you can kind of blow off with a leaf blower. But the amount of snow that's going to be falling is going to be piling up, so that might be a bit difficult because it'll eventually compact. So you have this very cold air coming in, and so it sets up the pattern here where you have your Arctic cold front here, you get these snow showers here, but keep an eye on this area here. We're going to be watching this all day. I'll be doing updates on Twitter and whatnot. This is where we start to see our convection, our thunderstorms start to pop up with our storm, and we're going to start seeing a wave of low pressure develop right around here, right around the coastal waters. Keep that in mind, okay? Keep the warm waters off the coast in mind. We'll be back to that in a minute. So there's our Arctic cold front, and there's all our little short waves diving through. So I've been talking about for the past several days, we did it on the live chat, and we've been following, of course, on the premium side, nailing this and focusing on this. This jet streak here is what makes this storm really cook. We have this jet streak starting to get its act together, and this one down here, you get a little bit of a separation, so there's your divergence and diffluence setting up your storm. But this jet streak is what we've been waiting for, and why the GFSs have such a hard time with this storm. To be fair, the model's been pretty good this winter, but this time it was kind of lagging. And the reason why is because I'm having a hard time dealing with this ridge and this jet streak. This jet streak here on the back side of it, think of it putting on a heavy weight on the back of your boat, right? And it tilts the front up because of the heavy weight on the back, right? Well, it's kind of the same mechanism with this trough. All of this air, because that's what we're dealing with here, rapidly moving air, piles on the back side of this trough and swings it towards a negative tilt, or swings it with a trough axis that goes from northeast to southwest to northwest to southeast. So it swings this way. And so with a negatively tilted trough, which I'll show in the model maps, that leads to your divergence and diffluence and sets up this whole storm threat. And because of this pile-on, it allows for the environment for the 500 millibar low to close off and sets up this entire situation. So that's why this ridge and this trough was so important. And that's how you get this storm, even though we don't exactly have the best blocking in the Atlantic here. The key for the slows down the storm is also this upper level low part of the polar vortex here, slowing it down and just kind of setting everything up perfectly for this threat. And that's the key here, man. This is really a thread the needle type situation where everything's pretty much working out perfectly. Now, this is our infrared satellite picture. Right now, we have our cold front moving through. You can see the cold cloud tops. The colder the cloud tops, the stronger the lifting, right? So, the brighter the colors, the stronger the lifting. Watch for this afternoon. We'll be sharing this on Twitter. The development of very bright cloud tops starting to pop up here, and a lot of latent heat release start to get released into the atmosphere here. And what that essentially does is that it starts to destabilize the atmosphere. Yeah, that's a mechanism that sets up thunder snow. So let that just sink in for a second. So on the water vapor satellite picture, there's our shortwave diving in. Positive tilt right now, rather energetic, pretty well put together. Our Arctic shortwave is back here. Here's the strong jet streak driving this whole mechanism through and setting everything up. And here's our subtropical jet stream with plenty of moisture and our low pressure system starting to brew down here, getting its act together. Again, we're already seeing convection starting to show up off Georgia and South Carolina, and precipitation starting to break out here in the subtropical jet stream. And this is all with our Arctic cold front basically lifting whatever moisture is left in our area right now. That's going to be significantly increasing. So setting up this whole scenario, I want you to focus in on this area. This is well above normal water, okay? This is why this storm gets very explosive. You have Arctic air running into very warm water. And when those two meet, that's like mixing gasoline with nitroglycerin and throwing a match, okay? We said this on Wednesday, and I'll say it today. This is why you see that rapid development of that 500 millibar low. And this is why I discounted the GFS and said, this doesn't make any sense considering the jet streak. So this sets up an environment here where you have a lot of potential for warm air in the mid-levels to lift into this very cold air mass, and that leads to the environment where you have convective precipitation, mesoscale banding. And so you're seeing a lot of the mesoscale models try to handle this, the NAM, the HHR, all of this, okay? I stress not to use the model snow maps, or else you're going to be running around calling for 45 inches of snow. But it does give us the advantage of seeing what is the convective parameters that we're dealing with. So let's take a look at the models here, and we'll walk through this whole forecast. So I wanted to take apart certain key aspects here. For midnight tonight, which I'll be up and doing updates, and we'll be showing this in real time in the observations. There's our jet streak enhancing the backside. There's our trough starting to go negative. And you see this jet streak here and here? Well, this and this will set up what we call divergence and diffluence, which basically allows for spreading of the atmosphere and rapidly rising air right around the mid-Atlantic coastal waters. So let's take a look at the 500 millibar PVA, vertical velocity. This ought to cover quite a bit. And we're going to zoom in. Let's zoom in on the east coast. Actually, let's zoom right into the northeast here. So you get your trough here swinging through, and you're getting your strong PVA. In fact, I apologize. Let me zoom out real fast. And east coast. All right, fine. I'll just go this way. Okay, so here is your swing right here. Okay. It goes from positive, neutral, negative. And because of that negative shift, seeing by Saturday afternoon, you get that close off. Whereas the previous guidance had it out here. So because of this whole process, you get very strong lifting setting up right over New Jersey as this process is taken over by midnight tonight. Now that's at 500 millibars. Take a look at 700 millibars. Let's pull that up because that gets interesting as well. And you can see the 700 millibar low form to the south of New Jersey and then to the south of Long Island on early Saturday morning. Let me see if I can zoom in again. East Coast, perfect. Okay. So why is this very important? Well, whenever you are north and west of this 700 millibar low, that is where you get your very heavy snowfall and the potential for stretching in the atmosphere and, of course, that mesoscale banding. And we could take a look at 850 millibars too. It's showing the same thing. So we certainly have the synoptic support for this storm to support very heavy precipitation. Now, the reason why I increase totals is because what I'm seeing on the NAM. This is called Frontogenesis, okay? And this is basically, let's say, mini fronts within the storm itself. And you see this signature here? This is a sign of strong lifting. And when you start seeing those strong lifting on the coastal plain like this, and this includes New York City, it goes down to Atlantic City, and then rotates its way up towards Boston. You can see the potential here for these intense bands to set up. And when you have the type of cold air that we have, and you start seeing this type of banding setting up, you could easily produce snowfall rates of 1 to 3 inches per hour, maybe isolated 4 inches per hour. If you're out towards the Cape or off towards Boston, this is going to be a monster marching right up to you. And it's going to create some very impressive snowfalls as well as it rotates through. That's why I have that area a little bit higher for the snowfall potential, because they're going to get really, really slapped. So there is your mesoscale banding and setting up for this whole event. So you have all the features all coming together. You have the cold air, Arctic air, really. You have plenty of moisture transport coming in. In fact, let's pull up the 850 millibar winds here, and I'll pull that up right here. Okay. You see this part right there, okay? This transport here is going to drive a tremendous amount of moisture into the coastal plain, and it intensifies as we head towards tomorrow morning. So this is how you get your strong wind gusts, possibly up to 50 miles per hour, which could lead to blizzard conditions. And this is also how you get your moisture transport into this very cold air that sets up this whole storm. But again, because of the strong lifting, you get this cutoff setting up over eastern Pennsylvania, which leads to a very sharp drop and the potential for snowfall. So let me walk you through this storm, and then we'll talk about the rest of the forecast here. So we start off for today. We'll close this out. Again, today is the last scattered snow showers for our Arctic cold front. By this evening, let's say between 6 and 8 p.m., we'll start to see steadier light snow really break out along the coast. That's going to expand and intensify. As we move towards midnight, look for heavier snowfall on the coast, your lighter snow over the interior. Winds start to pick up past midnight into tomorrow morning. Very heavy snowfall. Again, this is with a higher snow ratio. So if you're talking about 1/4 of an inch per hour, you have to multiply that by 15 to 20. So that can be quite a bit. Instead of talking about 2 inches per hour, you're talking about 3, maybe 4 inches per hour. So that is some very impressive heavy snowfall setting up in this scenario. And that's going to continue on through Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, the storm continues. It starts to pull away, so we start to see the snow tapering off in the afternoon from west to east. Say eastern Pennsylvania is done with everything by about 3 p.m. New Jersey done by about 6 p.m. And Connecticut and Long Island done by about 9, 10 p.m., okay? And meanwhile, Boston's still getting smacked pretty good. And then after that, we start to clear out. And so that leads to this forecast I have updated this morning. Again, for Zone 1, trace to 2 inches. Zone 2, 3 to 6 inches. Zone 3 here is 6 to 12 inches. That includes Philadelphia. That's been increased. Zone 4 is 7 to 14 inches. And these two areas are going to have a wide range in snowfall numbers, mostly because of the strong lifting here is going to lead to sinking air in this area. So look for a heavy burst of snow, and then it'll taper off the flurries, and then moderate snow again, and a heavy burst again. It's going to be all over the place here. Meanwhile, in Zone 4, again, 7 to 14 inches. Zone 5, this is where you get those bands really take shape. You're talking about 12 to 24 inches. And yes, there's a chance for isolated 30 inches or more. If you get one of those bands really locked in and just sitting over you for a couple of hours, you're talking about 2 to 4 inches per hour snowfall rates setting up here for a few hours. That could certainly happen based on what we saw with the Frontogenesis forecast that I was showing you. And then Zone 6 is where, well, this storm really matures and you get some very strong lifting, and you're talking about 18 to 28 inches plus. So I'm not going with the insane totals that the NAM was showing, but you can see the potential here. It's a crippling snowstorm for basically the coastal plain here. And also with this heavy snow, strong winds backing from the northeast to northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, 15 to 30 miles per hour along the coast, with gusts up to 50 miles per hour at times, and also the potential for some moderate to major coastal flooding. So yeah, it's not going to be a very good day out there. So let's walk through the rest of our forecast. Again, today, scattered snow showers, highs in the upper 20s over the interior to mid-30s along the coast. Tonight, our storm is rocking and rolling, with lows falling off into the single digits over the interior, lower teens along the coast, rebounding into the lower to mid-teens over the interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast by the afternoon hours as the storm pulls away. Wave heights today will be about 2 to 4 feet, but then they build to 7 to 14 feet tonight on through Sunday. For Sunday, everything dries out. Look for temperatures to range from the single digits to lower teens and high temperatures in the lower 20s. On Monday, high pressure will be in control with scattered cloud cover. Look for lows in the single digits and highs in the lower 30s. On Tuesday, look for high pressure to exit with more of a southwesterly wind, maybe a little fog in the morning. Look for lows in the upper teens over the interior to lower 30s along the coast, and high temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s. On Wednesday, look for a scattered cloud cover with temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 30s for lows, and high temperatures in the lower to mid 40s over the interior, upper 40s along the coast. On Thursday, a warm front moves through with scattered showers. Look for lows in the upper 30s and highs in the lower to mid 50s. And then on Friday, Thursday night into Friday, a strong Arctic cold front moves through with periods of rain. And then for the rest of the day on Friday, temperatures will be free falling through the 40s, 30s, and 20s as cold air builds in. So watch out for the potential maybe for a little bit of snow sleep mix over the interior as this cold front blows through on Friday. So that is your forecast discussion for today. It was a bit of a long video, but I think that I kind of touched on all the aspects of this storm. The worst conditions, again, look to be basically from midnight tonight on through early tomorrow afternoon. So if you have plans for tomorrow morning, cancel them, okay? Don't. And for tonight, if you have to go out, I'd strongly suggest being home before midnight, and because you're going to start seeing snow from 8 to 10. It's going to be light at first, but it will accumulate. So the roads are not going to be pretty, and that is for sure. So have a wonderful day. I will be doing live chat and discussions on Twitter and on Facebook. And, of course, premium members, I'll be doing a constant live chat continuing on starting this afternoon and evening once I get done with a few things on my end. Okay, so have a wonderful day. And as always, stay safe out there.